What's good, Jugi2? Sorry, I'm not looking at you. I was just lowering the volume on my musics. So I know the format's gonna be a little bit different. Let me take a second to tell you guys about one of the new, or old rather, very good decks of the format. This is my pre-March 2013 deck list, but the difference is actually not going to be that big until Crane comes out. So, without further ado, I've been pretty silent about this for most of the format, but let's finally get to it. You got your vanillas, Cobblezals and Sabersaurus. A lot of people switched for the Cobblezals to the Twin-Headed King Rex, but then you'll notice a lot of them switched back to the Cobblezals. And, really, the Cobblezals is probably the best choice, to be honest, and I'll show you why in a little bit. You got the two rabbits. Yeah, what am I gonna tell you? It's Rescue Rabbit. I mean, it pretty much runs the deck. The deck's named after him. Yeah, your tour guides. You really only ever needed two. Even when it was at 3, you only summoned it twice. You summoned it once and got Sangan, once and got your third tour guide. So honestly, it's still fine. And then you got the Sangan, because he's like the classic target. And you got the Night Assailant. 4th Fiend was really good. Anyone who wasn't playing the 4th Fiend last format didn't know what they were doing, to be honest. And then you got your Dirac Weavas, 3 of them. Not 2. Yeah, it's Dirac Weava. It's good. Tekken Aolo if you want, bros. Then you got your Gores, 2 Veilers. I think that in Dino Rabbit, especially, Veiler is better than Max C. But overall, I believe that Veiler is better than Max C as well. Because Veiler says, cut that out. And he comes in Ultimate Rare, so that's cool. But, which is my favorite rarity, by the way. But, you just drop the Veiler and you're like, no, cut that out. Yes, I know there's some decks that are unaffected by Veiler, but that's what my fat trap lineup's for. And besides, when you drop Max C and Dino Rabbit and you start drawing vanillas, that sucks. Just do me a favor, don't play Max C and Dino Rabbit. I'm not going to talk about... Yeah, let's talk about spells. Alright, so we got my consistency cards. Avarice, Tofter Troghite, because I had to play the card with the Hitler stash in German. And then 2 Dualities and 2 Sarkos. Before I hear anything about anyone, I don't like the gold Sarkos, and secret Dualities are really expensive. So, but this is all consistency stuff. The gold Sarkos are really good in game 2 because they can search your side deck also. Like say I'm playing Dark World and I open with this but not my Cosmos, I can just be like, 2 turns from now Cosmos is going to be a thing. So, and then that forces them to overcommit into my back row. So that's really good. And then just getting the rabbit in game 1 kind of puts them in the same kind of situation where they try to establish field presence before you get your Evoltar. But a lot of time you can punish them for doing that with a heavy back row. And I got my back row hate, 2 Lances, 2 MSTs, and a Storm. I mean, pretty standard. A lot of people play 3 MSTs. I actually went down to 2 in order to fit in my second gold Sarko because I was just teching one. And I liked it so much that I wanted to play a second. The Lances are also for Guibas, obviously. But I realized that I was only playing 3 because it was a relic of my build with Hydrogeddons, and I went down to 2, and I still like it just as much. And then you have to have singles, Monster Reborn and Baracco Negro. Not just being racist, it's my Baracco Negro. And, yeah. Power cards, guys. Shouldn't have to tell you scrubs things about that. 2 Bottomless. I mean, for monsters over 1500, it pretty much functions the exact same way as Warning, but it banishes it and it's free. And it can get lanced and Musakani, Magatama, etc. So that kind of sucks. But when you get it off, it can be pretty devastating. Compulses, say no to those problem cards, Zen mains, etc. Or just plain make them minus. Wait till they XYZ or Synchro and you're like, put that shit back. Get out of here. 2 Deep Prisons. I found that Deep Prison is really good this format because denying people their graveyard toolbox is very powerful. There's been a lot of chaos and stuff like that, and I can just be like, no, you don't get to build your toolbox. 1 Mirror Force, down from 2. I played 2 during the first half of the format, and I really liked it. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but that's the other card I took out for Gold Sarco is 1 Mirror Force. It's really good. 2 warnings, about to be 1. I'm probably just going to put a Blackmore of Heaven over 1, and it'll be fine. And then you got your Judgment and your Dark Bribe. And that makes the main deck. It's 41 cards right now, so I could see myself just swapping the Sangam for Bus and losing the morning, but I found that the balance at 41 is fine. And then here's my extra deck. Got my tokens. One of them's my Kasi card, and the other one's the Troll token. Oh, I love this token when I drop cores. I found this fake-ass card, guys. I gotta share this with you. Mistake happened. It says some wonky shit. Choose 1 monster from the opponent's graveyard. Sounds like a real card so far. And special summon it to the opponent's field. Sounds good so far. Taking the field side defense position. Interesting. Yeah, that's fake as fuck. But I like to drop my gores and just be like, what's up? Mistake happened. That's kind of cocky, I know, but I dig it. Got the Zen mains. Gotta have that secret rare. I'm just kidding. I got a sick deal on it back when it was expensive. That's the only reason I have it. Got the Leviathan, Leviair. I'll play the Ultimates because Ultimate's my favorite rarity. Number 30, Maestroke. Photon Papilloperative. I've got a Photenenfelter agent, but honestly, this would be a Black Ship of Corn if I had one, but I don't. Got the 2 Dolkas, 3 Logias. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the reason you play the deck. Gemnite Pearl, and here's my surprise card. Oh, I missed my Cowboy. Whoop. There's a Cowboy before the Maestroke. Cowboy! Bah. Here's my surprise card. Bahamut Shark. This is not for summoning Leviathan and beating you for an extra 2,000. The reason I play this is because Goes and Match is a card that's in everyone's side deck right now. Well, everyone who can play it. And when you get out your 2 Kapazals and they flip the Goes and Match, you're kind of fucked unless you have an Abyss Dweller or a Bahamut Shark. But I found that since Dolka is all around better than Abyss Dweller, I don't want to play Abyss Dweller of its own merit. The only reason I play this is for the beater aspect of it, and to be something to make under Goes and Match. Because often I've found that if I've got a Lance, and I make this, and they'll like bottomless it, I Lance it, and then they're fucked. Because they're planning on their Goes and Match to win the game for them, and then when it doesn't, and I just make Bahamut Shark, and summon a Leviathan Dragon, whatever, and set a few back row and pass, then that usually means that I've won. So that's something. And then, since I took out the Starlight Road, I'm no longer playing Stardust Dragon. I'm actually playing Catastor. I've been making some pretty good plays with this. Just last weekend at the regionals. Okay, it doesn't want to focus, but that's Catastor, I promise. You can kind of see it. Yeah. Alright, whatever. I really wanted to focus on it. Oh, no wonder why. Fucker's in 3 sleeves. It's because he was in my Fabled deck. And I triple sleeve though. Let's see if this works out. Yeah! Give my camera a second. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. It just didn't work and like I had to make it work. Okay, so that's the extra deck. Backwards again, real fast. Catastor, Bahamut Shark, Gemnite Pearl, 3 Logias, 2 Dolkas, Photenenfelter Agent, Photon Papilloperative, Maestroke, Cowboy, number 30, Leviair, number 17. These should be swapped, and Zen mains, and you gotta have your tokens. So, pretty standard outside of the Bahamut Shark, I would say. And then in the side deck, that's where I get kind of wonky. For the current meta, I have got Thunder Kings, Crows. I was playing a Soul Release, but Soul Release is too slow for Fire Kings. Crow will get your Runics before it's important. So, yeah. I prefer Soul Release. I think all around one Soul Release is better than 2 Crows. But it's not working right now. It's unfortunate. And then got my Cosmos. Yeah, Cosmos is really good. I don't think it's good in the main deck because there are a lot of matchups that don't really give a shit about Cosmos. And why would you play that against them? Just put it in your side deck, guys. You're much better off having your Avarice and your Monster Reborn, etc. And a Gores. Macro Cosmos kills Gores, which is the biggest turnoff for me, to be honest. Chain Disappearance is still really good. It kills practically every rogue deck, and it's good in the mirror match. And nothing is better than banishing. Ugh. You just get so much use out of it. I can't believe people aren't playing it anymore. Royal Decree. Gotta have those Hobby Leaves because you really want to draw them against Chain Burn. But then you could also play it against a deck like Counter Fairies or something like that. Got the one Zing Zang Hu. He's for Fire Fists alongside my third Space and my third Forbidden Lance. I know it's weird siding in like 3 different cards for a deck, but it works. Because this puts me at 3 Lances, this puts me at 3 Spaces, and this is just a tech. So, don't hate, guys. It works. I promise. And the last thing is 2 Noblemen of Crossout. That's for Gravekeepers, which is historically not really a very easy match for Dino Rabbit because of their ability to kind of inherently plus or break even. They've kind of got a gadget factor to them. And then it was also for Geargias. They play that Geargi armor and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And then just start pushing. Well, they can't do anything, as well as deny them their plus. So that's my side deck. It changes up a lot, to be honest. My side deck is probably the most changing part of my Dino Rabbit deck. Once I had a pretty solid build, Dino Rabbit has only changed by a couple of cards. Yeah. Gotta have the side deck. And honestly, like, I know like I've got a lot of the bling cards, but you can build this deck pretty cheap. It's really good. I highly recommend it. But there's a big... I know this is going to sound like something that only someone playing Dino Rabbit would say, but I believe that Dino Rabbit actually is a very skillful deck. But it doesn't have to be. It's not inherently skillful, but you can make it skillful. And you just have to really make abstract plays with your cards. You have to throw your opponent off. Like with my Gold Sarko, one of my favorite plays is with no banished monsters at all, I'll summon Tour Guide and get the Sangan or whatever and make a Leviair. And they'll almost always let it go. And then I'll Gold Sarko for Rabbit and go summon it with Leviair and protect the Leviair with like my Lance or whatever that I've got. And oftentimes that'll give me like what I need to keep going. Sometimes I got the warning anyways, and that's alright, because then I'll get the Rabbit 2 turns later. And then they won't have warning then. But, yeah. And then we may have lost a warning, but think about it this way. Everyone else lost a warning. So that's one less card that, like, absolutely stops you in your tracks that you're going to be running into. And, yeah. The deck is still really, really good. You just gotta learn to make the crazy plays. And, yeah. And then I've got a lot of decks that are not even remotely meta for next format. I got windups. Yeah. This guy. I don't care if Magician's at 1. I'll use him a bunch anyways. Is what Summoner Monk says. And I got a zombie build. I've got my Yusei deck, which is actually complete, finally. I'm going to profile that later in the week, but it's really nutty. And that's pretty much it for now. Expect more from me. I already told you what updates I'm going to do. It's only like 2 cards, so I'm not going to make a whole new deck list for, hey guys, I replaced one of the warnings with a black horn, and I took out the sand game for a bus. But that's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, leave hateful comments about how Dino Rabbit is skillless, and I've sold my soul. And, yeah, have a good one, guys.